chill time real quick one time, yeah? I just want to say I'm honored to be in this space. Y'all have so much energy, and I can feel it. It's so good. Fellow artists, countrymen, lend me your hearts, your ears, your beautiful minds. It is truly an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to be here as your guest speaker. Thank you for having me and for welcoming me. I did not warm up this morning. For welcoming me into the space. It is a pleasure, it's an honor. I am an actress. I used to live here for a bit, but my hometown is actually in Brooklyn, New York. And so that's where I am now. Oh, we have some Brooklyn in the, hold on, wait, where? Brooklyn? Wait, louder, Brooklyn? Starting her groundwork here, and is now, I don't know, a keynote speaker at the Maryland Thespian Festival. That's kind of crazy. It's a real full circle moment happening right now, and I just want to continue to encourage you that, like, I am you, you are me. You could be here in like a couple of years, days, months, time. It's not real. So it's good to be here. I'm still having an out-of-body experience right now, if you can't tell. I'm just taking you all in. And I also just want to encourage you all as you're here during this weekend to take it all in and to be present every moment. So my favorite thing as of late has been saying yes, and then the universe quickly responds like, okay, just like that, with enthusiasm. And sometimes a little bit of mischief. It feels like that sometimes. Like the universe is just like, oh, that's what you want? Okay, I got you. And I want to say that, you know, in what we do, they tell us say yes, right? You know, especially when you're doing improv or whenever you're on scene, everything is yes and, right? And I just want to say that make sure when you say yes, you are ready and prepared in that moment to be about it, really. That you're prepared to get the answer that you're seeking. Because, like, case in point, like right now, this moment with you all is a yes moment for me. January 12th, 2024, here with you, speaking to you. And there were lots of days where I was just like, okay, I don't know what to say. What do I write? I've never done this before. Like, they don't want to hear me. Like, what have I done? Where's Oprah? Like, what is this? But I had a lot of blank stares and a lot of blank pages for days and days and days, wondering what to write. And it led me here, where we are now met, right? The intersection and the meeting of so many yeses all around in this space right now. Let us all here together. There have been yeses said, whispered, prayed all around in this room, and we are all here together because we all said yes to something at some point for a bigger purpose and an expanded purpose. But before we get into all of that, I just want to share a little bit of my backstory. Guy said a few things that I've done in my career, and I just want to share with you how we're all connected and how I got here. So like I said earlier, this is a full circle moment. You know what a full circle moment is, right? Yeah. Someone shouted out to me, what's that? Anybody? Where you started. Okay, I'm gonna take that one because it's the only one I heard. But I'm sure you all said answers that apply, right? So full circle moment is where you started. Sometimes you find yourself at where your journey began, right? And that for me is this, literally. This is truly meta for me. Looking at you today, I feel like I'm looking at myself, and I am looking at myself. Literally, figuratively, divinely. Once again, I am you, you are me, we are one another. So I did an interview a couple of months ago on the Truth in This Art podcast. That is a private plug, okay? I want to take away that expression of shameless plug, even though it's the same sentiment, you know, but I'm just taking the shame out of things as of late. So we're going to say prideful plug. Okay, so I did this interview in a podcast, and the host of the podcast asked me if my background played any part in where I'm at today. Right, so my background as far as education, community, acting, writing, how does that all merge? Does it merge? And where did the love for those things begin? Well, it began when I was 15. My first job was actually here in Maryland, so my mom moved us down right before I started high school. And does anyone know Harmony Hall in Fort Washington, Maryland? Yes! Come on. Harmony Hall, Fort Washington, Maryland, they had a troupe called TPE. Has anyone ever heard of TPE? It's like all the way in the back. All the way in the back. It was a long time ago. I don't know if it's still a troupe in Prince George's County, but it was called Teen Performance Ensemble. And a couple of years ago, maybe longer than a couple, I was 15, and I started here. I joined the Children's Theater Troupe, and it was my very first job, performing for and teaching youth sometimes. It required learning technique, right? So I want to put that in your bones, right? What you're doing right now, you're learning skills. You're developing those skills. And so technique, clown, improvisation, commedia dell'arte. Shout out to Mandy Dalton. I don't know if you know Mandy Dalton, but she was my first professional teacher, colleague, mentor, and guide. And she's one of the most genius, fearless clowns that you will ever meet. So I don't know. I know there's a workshop going on this weekend with juggling, and I heard some commedia work. So definitely get into those rooms if you can. Because that was the beginning for me, right? The development of skills which I would go on to use the rest of my artistic career. It was the first time that I would co-write a script, become a smart improviser, songwriter. I even had to sing in public, which I'm still working on. Because I get nervous. Still, nerves are good, by the way. That means you care. That means you care about your work and what you're sharing with an audience, right? So yeah, I learned all those things. And I also learned how to be a stage crew member. I had to break down and build up the set and travel. Sometimes we had to drive. I wasn't driving at 15, but I'm just saying. And this all started here in Prince George's County, Maryland. That's where I met me, Kashayna the artist, right? And I know a few of you, if not the room, the auditorium, is meeting themselves as the artist. And that was a big moment for me. So who knew a little girl, right, from Brooklyn, New York, would find her way down to Maryland and decide to be a thespian? I didn't know. But that was purposeful. There was purpose in that. Cut to Prince George's County, Maryland 2024. My foundation in the arts started here. This is where I began as an actor. I auditioned for and got accepted to Suitland High School. Do you know Suitland High School? So I was accepted into Suitland as a theater major in the Visual and Performing Arts program. And, real quick, shout out to Isis Clay.
Yes.
Shout out to Isis Clay. She was, I don't think she's here with us today, but she was my mentor and my teacher at the time, and she was very integral in shaping who I was becoming as an artist when I was in high school and when I graduated, and still even to this day. And so right now I would like you to take a moment and just look around the room if you know any, or if you see anybody that has been an integral part of your journey, teachers, theater troupes, directors, acting coaches, parents, professionals, best friends, cousins, grandparents, everybody. I just want you to really take a minute and hold space for them and say thank you. Really, thank you. seats right now, okay? I know you have a lot of people speaking at you, and you have coaches, and you have teachers, and you have guides, and you have things like that. But you are the reason why you are in this space today. You co-created this very moment, actually, okay? And you have that kind of control. It takes a village, which is why I wanted you to turn around and see everybody and say thank you, because it does take a village and it does take a community to get you here. If you're really about the art, though, right? If you're about this work for real, though, the craft, the truth, the love of it all. Being a collaborator and a creator is two roles sometimes in the world, right? As artists, we live dual lives at times. Collaborator, creator. Creator, creation. Two roles, two masks, but one experience, one purpose. And as artists, being the vessel, being human, and being passion and love, that inner being leading you to your desires and your purpose, it can get a little like, what is this, right? Being artist, human, soul, body, observer, doer. We operate sometimes in the mask that we present to people, that we present to each other and our friends. And then we also operate in the mask that we sometimes hide. Whether we're at home, we're hiding behind our screens, on the phone, right, on social media. But sometimes actors, Rachel, make some noise if you're an actor. Yeah. I feel the energy. Raise your hand, and I'm saying are because you are. You exist, so you are, right? So do we have any stage hands, stage crew, stage managers? Who are building the sets, right? They matter just as much as we matter. And I just want to remind you to always respect everybody in the space, right? Okay, give me a clap for that. Okay, so you want to make art, right? You want to be on Broadway, you love theater, you love music, you love storytelling, you love to sing. I want to do musical theater. I probably have some musical theater folks in the space. Carpets, right? I want to get these Golden Globes and these Emmys and these Oscars, right? All these things we want. I want. You want, we want. I mean, you or me. We're one. So how do we get it? How do you get it? Work hard. And you say yes. What else? Say again? Determination, yes. Purpose? Did you say purpose? Practice. Persevere. Good words. Yes. I see you. But you know how else you get it? You also get it by creating it. You create it. We create it. You create. You literally become the creators of your life story. You trust me in the forms of art, right? So active creators. Active creators in our lives. We're doing it. Actors, right? That was a little bit of a reach, but go with me. You are all creators of what can be, and you're evident of that by being in this room. So of course that's easier said than done, right? But even like Harry Potter had to go to school first before he knew how to use his wand, right? So same for us, okay? Is Harry Potter an old reference? I didn't feel you, like, but that old. I'm telling my age right there, Harry Potter, okay with that. But upon graduating high school, I didn't know what I was going to do either. I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know how to become a professional actor in the real world, right? But I had some more experiencing to do. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm a student of this art. I'm always growing. Even still to this day, I'm a student in the classroom. I'm even learning from you all being up here, right? And so I just took myself to college, literally did. My parents couldn't, foot the bill, and I was like, well, I think this is next. Let me find out what else is out there. So I went to Temple University in Philadelphia. Woo! Well, TU. I was there for a year, but I had to create my own path to get to where I envisioned myself to be, where I saw myself being, right? And so I met really cool people there. Amazing artists, some that you see on TV, actually watch on your screens, they're on movies, they're on Broadway, best friends actually to this day, from going there. But I left after my sophomore year started for several reasons, but I quickly decided that I was going to seek my purpose in the art, and I wasn't going to let that discourage me, right? Because sometimes the path that we seek out or that we see our friends going, we're like, I want to do that too. Oh, okay, that means I have to do this. But then sometimes it doesn't work out the same. Remind us that your journey is your journey, right? So we can't be comparing ourselves to the person sitting next to us. You can be inspired by it, but don't compare yourself to them. So I didn't get discouraged, and I figured out what was the next thing. So I had some odd jobs I had to figure out, right? So I did the, traditional waitressing, right? I did some hosting for a little bit, but I was thinking about things that I can strengthen, skills that I can cultivate, and so that it can enrich my toolbox. Because that's how you expand as a person and an artist. You gotta experience life outside of this, right? And so I also asked myself after doing that, because I was short-lived, I was like, oh, I'm not doing that. Where do I thrive? Whenever you get stuck, ask yourself, where do I thrive? When am I happy? Where do I feel my best? And I said, okay, the youth, I like teaching, da da da. So I went back to teaching. And I became a preschool teacher for about 2 years, right? And during that time, I observed them, they inspired me actually. They opened up my imagination even more. And I continued to ask myself, okay, what's next? How can I create my own path? Because I don't know what to do. So I went back to, again, where do I thrive? What do I want to do? And watching these babies, I said, okay, well, I need to get back in the classroom. And that led me to Theater Lab in DC. Do you know Theater Lab? Okay, Theater Lab School of Dramatic Arts. I went there, okay, and I graduated from their honors conservatory. That's a 1-year intensive, that's a commitment. And I did that because I saw myself needing some type of again, to where I wanted to go. And so I didn't have agents, managers. Don't worry about all that. That will come. Focus on where you thrive. Focus on where you feel good. Okay? And Theater Lab, that led me to BADA. Do you know BADA? So, yeah, a little bit. So the British American Dramatic Academy in Oxford, England, they do auditions here in the States every summer. And I audition on Howard's campus. Kind of stuck on there. It's okay. Listen, find ways, right? It was an open audition, but I was not a student at Howard. So I went, auditioned, I got accepted, I got scholarship. So I was across the pond for the summer. It's an amazing experience. I would have traded for the world, right? But that was me following me and what I like and where I feel I thrive, and kept leading me to more doors. Okay? And so while I was in England, I got email from the States saying, we would like to offer you this role. So right before I left, I auditioned for a show in Maryland, and I didn't hear from them for a couple months, so I figured, oh, I didn't get it, and I just went to England, right? So also knowing as you continue to move on, things may not work out. Don't get hung up on those things. Move on to the next, because you actually don't know what's going on. So while I'm thinking, oh, I didn't get it, they didn't want me, I'm still learning. I'm still making myself better as an artist. And then in comes an offer, right? So I got my first professional job while I was away. And so I had that to look forward to when I came back. And that first job was a show called How We Got On by Idris Goodwin. I don't know if you know it, but it was directed by Paige Hernandez. Do you know Paige Hernandez? You should know Paige Hernandez, man. Paige Hernandez is an amazing artist, Baltimore's own. She's also the associate artistic director at Everyman Theater, but she's a multidisciplinary artist who's around here. She does her own shows. She travels. She's great. So look her up. And that was my first show. I came back to Maryland. I did that. And then since I haven't, I guess stopped. I'm still seeking those things that make me happy and where I thrive. And so I've worked at Roundhouse, I've worked at Arena, all those things. I'm blessed to be nominated twice on the page, which I know all of you can do. That's not a question, right? And I also just recently had an off-Broadway debut in New York. Yes. Now I'm saying these things to you because I was in your seats at one point and there was someone speaking these things to me and I was like, okay, yeah, I know I can get there, but like, you're there. I'm here telling you, I am still there with you. And I'm also here and I'm creating this. You're creating this. This is a part of your story, right? And I do this all while managing myself. I still don't have a manager to this day, by the way. All managing myself and creating my own path. It's hard work. It's hard. It's good. And I've had many lessons that felt like failures. I've had many no's. I get lots of no's all the time. But those no's, don't take them personal. Nothing's personal. Okay? Those no's are just a way to figure out the path for the yeses to get to you. The right yeses. Okay?
And if I can just offer this to you, I would say to say yes to you. Okay? Really start saying yes to you today. You be your first yes. You always be your first yes. And all the other yeses, that's just like, it's like cherries on the top of the cake, right? And that way you don't have to worry about trying to do things for other people or trying to be other people because you've already validated yourself by just being who you are. So, I'll close with this. Looking at this auditorium full of yeses. This year's theme is to mass one purpose, right? Mass are multifunctional, they can work in several ways. They can hide, they can conceal, but they can also protect what's fragile, what's sacred, what's important. And creating my own path in reality taught me which masks to present to the world and industry, and which ones to keep in the incubator until it was the appropriate time, right? And sometimes I may even put up a mask to cover up the fear I may be feeling. Like even coming out to talk to you today, right? Even this moment right now. I was down myself a bit, a little imposter syndrome snuck up on me for 2 seconds. Because, it's one thing to be on stage, be in a costume and in character, but it's something to step out as yourself and just really look someone in the eye and connect and have a moment to talk. It's vulnerability, right? And vulnerability is power. And it's powerful how you choose to present and share that vulnerability with the world. And the way you decide to do it, that's your business, okay? It's your business. And it's been said that the other side of fear can save your life. Well, I like to add that the other side of doubt may prove your greatness. The other side of the unknown is discovery. And the other side of uncertainty is freedom. And the other side of these masks that we wear is just expansion of who you already are.